How's it going, Scorpio community? You know who it is. It's Soul Tigers with a special story for this wonderful frequency. First off, let me start by saying thank you for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate the story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Now, with that being said, that this is a safe and sacred space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors of all the positive messages that are going to come out. Keep in mind that this channel is not for love tarot. This channel is geared around self-empowerment. What that means to me is building stepping stones to get closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. So, Scorpio, let's talk about the vibe. What's in the water with y'all? What's going on? Are you guys okay? Just know that you are loved and you are very, very important, no matter what's happening right now. So let's get started. Unprotected, exposed, unpredictable. Too much assumption has been made on your part. Now, this is I quote, is giving others the benefit of the doubt helping you or hurting you? End quote. Do not consume yourself with opinions of others. Do these others provide for you, or do they just criticize you? It's okay to be sensitive, and it's okay with not knowing how to interpret everything. It's a part of learning your gifts. You have to start from somewhere, Scorpio. And Scorpio energies, y'all got some superpowers. And if you're still early into evolving into your powers, your gifts, these gifts of intuition, these gifts of sight, these gifts of reading between the lines on people, filling out the energies around you, this is something that can be very overwhelming. And it can create a lot of clutter everywhere, I would say, within that internal home. And it makes it hard to navigate the other energies that are coming in from other people. I'm going to go on a quick detour. I myself have hit a new level in my gifts. So now I can hear what people say, even though they are not saying it. And sometimes it's hard to decipher if it's them or if it's my internal self. But being able to ground yourself out, hold confidence in yourself, remembering how to feel for yourself, and then being able to interpret that whatever is incoming, is it yours or is it somebody else's? And because my sensitivity has went up, my internal home has been a little cluttered, and it's been hard to dissect, why do I want to say decipher? That's not the word. It's hard to, not dissect. Now I'm losing the word. But it's hard to make a distinction between the outside environment's influences versus my internal environment. So again, when you can be grounded in yourself and recognize that the incoming, say, anxieties that are coming in from whoever you're dealing with are not yours, it actually helps release it. And I feel like we end up filling a lot of other people so that we are able to feel, but also interpret, and then proceed from there on how to handle situations. Is the person we're dealing with, are they just reacting to something? Do they have their own anxieties that they're carrying from other situations in their life? So when our interactions with them, maybe we shouldn't take things so personally. Maybe we should, instead of reacting, be able to sympathize, empathize, but also create an environment where we can hear a little bit more. And when you are able to step out of just reacting to others and being able to hear, observe, then you're going to explore that intuition, that reading between the lines a little bit more when it comes to your outside environment. Whew. I think I have a Scorpio here who is leveling up. They are leveling up. You've been working so hard, and the levels just don't stop because you get really good at that level. No, the divine's gonna help you go up another level. It wants to see you reach that top. You know, that top of spiritual evolvement. And what I think is when we reach that top, then we're able to put something else into the collective conscious when it comes to the species of humanity. Because every time we react to others, we are putting negativity into the collective conscious of the species. But when we can step back, observe, emphasize, sympathize with them, then we're able to put something else into that collective consciousness. Because remember, we see how somebody being angry can make somebody else angry who would carry it, and then they're going to make somebody else angry who carries it, and then that other person's going to make somebody else angry. It's literally a vibration. But let me stop detouring here. Let's go ahead and get started with the introduction. I'm hearing to call out the angels and the guides. Angels and guides, what is it that needs to come out for the introduction for the Scorpio community? Something we're not seeing, something that Scorpio is still a little confused on. It's the light. Count your blessings and enjoy life. Take pleasure in simple things. Always expect the best. I mean, when we wake up expecting the worst, then our day will be just as worse, just as bad as we were expecting it. And that's where we can already put ourselves on defense when it comes to dealing with others. When you can take delight in the simple things in life, even if you're having to restart your routine or somehow you keep hitting brick walls with whatever you're doing, be open to restarting. You could be on a timeline that is not your divine timing sometimes. So having that few minutes where you're being put back a little, is making you a little late, could be also aligning you with the timeline that the divine wants you on at that moment. I can't speak upon Dharma and universal law. Besides that, it's a part of the flow. It's a part of being open to interpreting the blocks in our lives, not as something that life has it out for us, but as something that is preparing to put us in a place where we are meant to be. And when we have those harder days, you know, being thankful that we have the means to run a little bit late, being thankful that we have the means to even have the basic stuff to arrive where we need to arrive. And the basic stuff could be as simple as having access to hot water. Not everybody has access to hot water all the time. Think about with power outages. Even think about when you got people who are taking all the hot water before you. Sometimes hot water can be a luxury when you don't have it. Let's go ahead and continue. What else needs to come out? Courage. Oh, this was talked about in the pre-shuffle. You are safe. Fear is an illusion. Set strong boundaries. This is something that you're at odds ends with. You could have a hard time with sticking to your boundaries here, or you're finding that you're having a hard time. It could be with somebody in particular. It could be with the place in particular. But I still feel like with hope coming in here, you haven't quite given up. You haven't thrown in the towel. You are still doing your prayers. You're still looking up. You could be even still asking for guidance in these moments. And I want to let you know that the divine does see this. The divine is here to help you. Your guides are here to help you, but they can't do the work for you. Hope, stay positive. The worst is behind you. Look up to the light. Well, I have a Scorpio. I sense, what do you mean the worst is behind me if I'm going through it right now? There are times in our lives at different points, different phases, where we literally go through it. We're going through it. But if you look at all the previous times that you've gone through it, you've made it through. And sometimes the storm feels worse than what it is. And sometimes it feels worse because we feel like we weren't prepared. Something came out of left field on us, something that we weren't expecting. But just remember, the divine doesn't give us too much that we can't handle. If you feel like there's a big weight here, how can we interpret it as that we've been guided to carry this weight at this moment because there's a lesson behind it, and the divine believes that we can pass this lesson, that we can see it, we can open up to it, and that we can evolve from it. All right, 3 more cards. What are the last 3 cards that want to come out? Last 3 cards. We got one more. Discernment. I've been hearing this word left and right lately. Discernment. You're at odds ends when it comes to discernment. All is not what it seems. Stay true to your knowing. Keep your dreams a secret. You have to be careful when you talk about things that mean a lot to you, especially around communities who don't understand it. But you also have to keep that mindfulness that those dreams are your dreams. Those aren't meant for everyone else. You are this individual. And what I'm hearing is you're this very inspiring individual. And don't forget that. Being able to have this connection with yourself. Connection where you can speak with yourself about the things that you're striving for and be able to validate it. Be able to hype yourself up about it. Sometimes, Scorpio energy, we look to others to confirm what we're doing, to confirm the ways that we want to go as good investments. And sometimes, again, if those people don't have that inner belief in themselves, then they may want to criticize what you're doing. I really feel like this is a story that's going to talk about a Scorpio getting more connected with themselves, being able to believe in what they're doing. All right, last 2 cards. Both things were not seen. Something we're confused on right away is innocence. Take time to play, nurture your inner child, live with a childlike sense of wonder. A childlike sense of wonder is having that fresh perspective. And as I mentioned before in other stories, sometimes we have to parent ourselves. We have to support ourselves. We have to be that nurturer of ourselves that sometimes we look for others to do for us. How can we take this fresh view into what we're doing, into where we're going, creating some kind of kindness, acceptance, mercy, and compassion, maybe a new level of these things for ourselves. Being able to understand that not everything has to be so serious either. Some of the things that we have the most fun in helps bring out bigger creative energies. So whatever it is that you want to work on, don't let others' opinions stall it, especially if that feeds that inner light, that inner curiosity as well. And then the last thing that we are not seeing, I don't know if you think that you don't deserve it. I don't know, but you're definitely at odds ends. And it's receive. Be open to receiving goodness. Believe you are worthy of abundance. A gift is coming your way. I think this is a spiritual involvement right here type of gift. Coming to full circle with things. But again, aligning with that higher energy, your unicorn type of energy that makes you an individual, a special, gifted individual. You're gifted for a reason. Everybody is gifted in their own ways when it comes to the signs. And each sign has their special gifts, again, because these gifts give back to that collective consciousness, because it helps guide us. It helps guide us to help out others, to help out ourselves, or even to inspire, to teach, to set examples for, because we are all learning from each other. We are each other's students as well as teachers. Don't forget that, Scorpio. You are that smart. You are so smart. So smart. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the present here. What is it that needs to come out? Ancestors and universal energy. Where there's something here that you hold yourself back when it comes to having the courage. It's hard some days to see what you are blessed with. I have that Two of Swords. Maybe it's because you've relied on the opinions of others for so long, and these opinions could have been something that you've worn as a blindfold for quite a while when it comes to being able to get in where you fit in, I'm hearing. And that's hard. That is hard, especially when it comes to people, places, or things, family environments, work environments. It's wherever you want to go that involves these others. So we have a Page of Pentacles. Definitely we don't know how to go off in certain directions when it comes to stability, or even how to make an offering to stability. What we don't see is a Page of Wands on the other side with the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. I feel like the Queen of Cups is going to represent the Scorpio here. This Queen of Cups energy is just, it's a little different. It's very, what I'm getting is it has itself limited when it comes to their emotional view. Usually a Queen of Cups is sitting at the edge of the water and it looks like it's a lake or ocean type of water. But here we have this water that has a very small boundary here. I feel like I get this right here. I get this because if you are sensitive, you're gifted, it's hard to navigate at times, especially when you feel more than the person is feeling next to you with the stuff that they're dealing with. Some people can really isolate themselves, disassociate themselves from their own internal emotions, turmoils, and they create what I see as like a concrete wall. And I have this problem too, is I will sense more what's going on with them than they're not even open to it, not even a smidgen open to it. And it could be something that's kind of hard. It could be something where if you bring something up, I mean, they don't know how to interpret it. And I feel like it gets flipped on you. Somehow they try and make you feel kind of naive about it. Maybe like you're too childish in a sense. That's what I'm getting with these 2 pages flipped like this. And you don't know how to ground yourself in this. And some pages in my different decks could depict somebody who's kind of having rash behavior. They're moving really quickly. This would show that you're excited about your environment and stuff like that. But on the other side is you don't know how to invest in it. You feel so much, you love that you feel so much, but again, you don't know how to invest in it because you feel more than what others around you feel. Landing on these pages. Yeah, so we have the 10 of Wands, some more wands here. Now we're at 11 wands. And some 8 of Swords energy. You want to... So what you do is you really try and use what you do feel to try and create like this connection with them. This playful, innocent, what I get is like a homey, connection, like siblings, family kind of connection here. But for some reason, all you're met with is the halls of illusions when you get done dealing with people, whoever you're trying to connect with. I mean, they could be in denial of stuff, which could have you at odds ends with your gifts. I seen one medium who was working one time, and this person was such a skeptic that they kept closing or shutting out anything that the medium had brought up, making it very difficult for the medium. But on the other side of the wall, literally, was the skeptic's friend who's like, I know who this person's talking about, who the medium was talking about. And their friend, he was like, they should know who this person's talking about. And the medium had a hard time navigating this because anything that they brought up, it was shut out right away. And that is really hard when it comes to navigating your gifts, reading between the lines, because it does have you feel like you are in illusions, that you are not actually being accurate with things. But I want to say here, Scorpio, a lot of people lie to themselves on a daily about how they feel. A lot of people will cover it up with different types of addictions. It could be shopping, it could be coffee, it could be the addiction of having everything set in such a routine that is just their comfort zone. That's how they deal with their problems. So I mean, there's going to be other signs of it. You just have to look at the environment too, as well as what's happening. Facial expressions play a lot as well. I always love to observe people's facial expressions, how they're honestly carrying themselves too. You can see a lot of lower energy and just the way the person carries their body. So when they are meeting you with these blocks telling you that you're wrong and stuff like that, step back and really analyze what they're doing, especially if you're noticing that they're taking what I'm seeing as a defensive posture. definitely you're probably hitting stuff on the mark, and it's upsetting them because it's stuff that they don't want to talk about with even themselves. They don't want to recognize. Something that falls onto this Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this is very, very appropriate with the Queen of Cups in reverse. The moon energy. Moon energy talks about your beliefs. And I feel like this is what makes you run at odds ends. And moon energy, Neptune. This is your mysticism, mystical love type of energy. This type of energy is transcendence. So this is not energy that you get from your intellectual being, your physical being. It actually comes from your soul being, what you're feeling within here. So again, you're having troubles navigating this. Ooh, that's okay. That's okay. I like to remind Scorpio energy, remember, don't get too fixated in your thoughts. You need to fill out more. That water energy, that emotional energy is something that you can tap into. And when you tap into that for yourself, it's going to help connect you here, because you're going to be really true with yourself. You're going to start validating yourself. So something else we're not seeing, when we talk about those thoughts, these pages here, look at that Page of Swords lands right on that. Really confused again how to look at things, how to look at your beliefs, how to think about things. You got a lot of thoughts going on here. 2 of Swords, 8 of Swords, Page of Swords. Now we're up to 11 swords now. We are up to 11 wands as well, with only 1 coin here. It's okay. It's okay. You may want to start keeping a journal. Honestly, because that will help get out those thoughts. It will help kind of quiet the mind down a little bit. Also, I want to go into my big kind of little theoretical triangle. And the reason why I do this, I think it's the Star of David. It's the 2 triangles that are together type of energy. And they say that the earth rotates with a triangle. So on one side it's like this, but then when it rotates, it goes like this. And to me, this makes sense with that as above, so as below type of energy. But we're going to focus on the one right here. So at the top, I have the brain, our mind. On the corner here, I have emotions. And then on the other corner, I have the body. And the ways that I really feel like we start to ground ourselves out is for our brain. We do breathing exercises to help ground ourselves out. When you see that your mind is leading the way, box breathing, BOX breathing exercises help. It kind of forces us to focus on it opposed to focusing on our thoughts. For your emotional corner side here, we need to make sure that we're intaking a good amount of water, being hydrated. Hydration does directly affect your vessel. I can speak upon it when it comes to the muscles, the fascia, and all that, creating more tension. When people have more tension and pain, they're more irritable. And then the last corner is going to be food. Food is going to be one of those things. Think of your earth energy. It's going to be a big grounder for you as well. All these things, food, water, breathing exercises, are meant to ground out the different sides to you. And when it comes to food, try and take time not to just stop by somewhere that serves fast food. Actually try and take time to get something from maybe a grocery store instead. Making sure that you're having the basics when it comes to vegetables, fruits, grains, and protein if you take in protein. Remember, this channel is for entertainment purposes. Always consult with a professional. But what I can say, and you can research as well, is certain vitamin deficiencies will play into lower moods, will play into irritability, and could play into other things that will throw our vessel off. So keep that in mind. Self-care is very, very important. So let's get back to the programming here. Yeah, I mean, usually I think that really plays into the Scorpio energy here, what I just spoke upon, because I always talk about how Scorpio is like the guardian angels of the zodiac. They're always self-sacrificing for others, and they're always on this go for others as well. Just make sure to slow down, to take care of yourself, even if that means taking a day off from being on the go for these others, just to get yourself grounded back out. You know, really feel yourself, because sometimes when you're on the go for others, I'm hearing to mention, is you are more focused on them and what they're doing, how they're feeling, opposed to how you're feeling, how you're doing, kind of thing. And you can't really take care of others 100 until you have taken care of yourself 100. And I'm going to say 10%. 10%. Because that extra 10% is how you think about yourself, how you view yourself. All right, something else. Look at this. I had the 10 of Swords come out. I almost said this one came out, but it was the 10 of Swords when I was cleansing. Now we go from 2 swords to 8 swords, which we got that 10 swords. Now we add 9 more swords onto it. You're sitting at 19 swords right now. Going around and around in your thoughts. Oh, look at that Chariot. Cancerian energy right there. 4th house, establishing foundations. You know what? As I felt like this yesterday, I actually bought something that reflected this. Feeling like a train wreck. Except for Scorpios not feeling like a train wreck. They're just freight training their thoughts about everything and anything when it comes to these foundations, what they've established, how they've established the foundations when it comes to the different relationships around them. You know, I just want to point this out. We got a few cards who kind of depict others here. But Scorpio, everything's kind of pointing back to you. Not as you being the problem for yourself. Is that maybe you're not putting yourself first a little bit more. You're putting all these others first. There could be a particular other that you've been really putting first a lot. And this other, what I get is you're expressing person, place, or thing is a really good match. You see it as a good match. You feel it as a good match. It's somewhere that you want to be. It's with someone that you want to be with. I don't know. It's like what I'm hearing is you're trying to wake something up in a sense. You're trying to wake it up, but again, you don't know how to invest in it. What else needs to come out? Yeah. And it's one of the things that you keep going around in your thoughts. Here comes the Ace of Swords. Now, when I say you don't know how to invest, Ace of Swords, Ace of Coins, Ace of Wands, that's all investing. Some reason the thought process around this going round and round and round is definitely the routine here. We don't know how to think things differently or think of things differently when it comes to this energy. I mean, I feel like this is an energy that is really front and center for you. It's one that's hard to get around in a sense. I mean, you find your ways around it to get to other parts of yourself, other parts in your life, but it still creates this, I hate to say it, because if it's somebody that you really care about, it creates an inconvenience. Look at that. Why would they put that there? See how some days you can get around it to get to other parts of yourself, other parts of life, but other days it could be harder to get around it. It's a little bit of a tighter squeeze, just depending on what's going on. But again, you find this as a good match. Emotionally, in a sense, you do, but in a sense, you don't know what to believe. This is very different. I feel like you crisscrossed yourself here. Got yourself a little tangled up. What is the last card for the present? This is something, someone, someplace that you don't want to put down. But at the same time, let me bring this back up. It's been very hard to navigate. It's almost like sometimes I describe this card as being in a labyrinth. And that's the vibe that I'm getting here. It's like a labyrinth. It's a maze of things here when it comes to dealing with this other energy. The Five of Swords also depicts more than two people. I believe it's three people in the original tarot deck, talking about what to keep, what to put down, who to walk away from, stuff like that. And I feel like others I get have been definitely talking about this. Whether it's talking to you directly or dropping comments. That's what I'm getting. But they don't understand. They don't understand the emotional side that you see, that you have, that you feel. Whew. So definitely, I feel like Scorpio feels like they're out on their own on some stuff. So I definitely have the Lonely Dreamer Tarot here for the block. We're going to take a deeper dive into this story. We're going to go into the block. Angels of Protection. Protect us as we navigate this block in the Scorpio frequency. What is it that needs to come out for this block? Right away, patience. Patience is needed here. So right away, we're going to talk about the halls of illusions here. Look who comes out again. The Chariot. The halls of illusions, the halls that your thoughts that you're confused on, especially when you're feeling more than these other people want to feel, that is something that gets you very stuck. It could be even, you could be hard on yourself with the way that you're coming in, or even how you're not coming in a sense. I mean, you could feel like you are not running short, but falling short of something that you think you could do that would help solve this problem. And that's something that has you stuck in your thoughts. You're kind of taking it out on yourself. If somebody, something else is making mistakes, is that what I'm getting? And if you didn't see that, it landed right here on the Chariot. Something else you're confused about. The Tower energy. When it comes to this freight training, through this labyrinth, through, you know, keeping yourself blocked or having this blindfold on to try and be gentler to others. That's what I get. Instead of being really truthful, you kind of push aside some of the stuff that you're reading between the lines when it comes to a particular energy. But this tower here says that you're not letting the flow happen. We're not dealing with the conflict. We're not dealing with the internal battles, but you're not dealing with the ways that you could be sabotaging or somebody else is sabotaging. And that's going to be a lot of this new moon in Aries energy right there. And then the full moon energy is knowing when to walk away from corruptions, from things that are no longer good for you, the things that want to stay that type of way thing. And right here, I feel like there's some kind of fear here. You're afraid. You're afraid, I don't know, of what somebody will say if you do something. That could be a lot to do with the new moon in Aries, you know, worried about the opinions of others, even though we can't help the opinions of others. No matter, you know, even if we're close to them, no matter the type of relationship, we cannot help how somebody thinks about us. And you know what? Their opinions are none of our business, because their opinions do not dictate our value. Our value is dictated through ourselves, how we take care of ourselves, how we look at ourselves. And I would even go as far as to say even how much we are aligned with higher frequency type of energy. Because when you align with the lower type of frequencies, you tend to take things out on yourself. You tend to self-sacrifice more. But if you want a little bit more in-depth view when it comes to the new moon in Aries and dealing with the opinions of others, and then the full moon in Libra, which is talking about walking away from corruption type of things, go check out my new moon in Aries, full moon in Libra interpretation. But whew, for some reason, Gemini had an option of bringing down the house. I feel like you don't want to bring down this house. You don't. You've worked so hard, and what I'm seeing is like cards that have been stacked up. You've worked so hard. You've been so gentle in how you've been establishing the foundations with this other. It's probably taken some time. It really could. It could be even around knowing them for, what's this tower, number 16? Yeah, you could have known this person 16 months, 16 years, 16 weeks. You could have been dealing with this place for that long, this thing for that long. But it's something that's been a while. You even could go and put it the 16 to 7. You know, or even take that one and put it to 5. It just all depends. But it's something here that's been a while. What else needs to come out for the black? Well, this is new. Alright, so let's see. Now, as we talk about time and stuff like that, first thing we don't see is memory. But memory is in reverse, followed by the 8 of Wands in reverse. Oh, guess who showed up to the party again? The moon in reverse, and some more swords. Another page of swords coming out. Oh, what I get with this is you're repeating. You are repeating unknowingly, but your unconscious side to you feels it, but your conscious self doesn't feel it. That's what I get with this. You're repeating something. You're repeating. It could have been the way that you cloaked yourself or put up a defense since a young age. How to be able to operate with others. Because remember, we got a Scorpio who's evolving into their gifts. So what I get with this Page of Swords and the Moon is this has been for a while that you've ran at odds ends with your beliefs, your mysticism, your transcendence type of energy, what you fill out, what you read between the lines. It's definitely something that could have came with repercussions at one time when you were younger, especially if you were highlighting stuff with older people that weren't even ready to recognize. So here you're kind of repeating it. You're going off and you're handling it the way that you've handled it before. And it could have been through a lot of the mental overthinking, could be self-blaming kind of energy, but it's definitely something that's been a block to your gifts. Three of Cups. You know, yeah, we were talking about others here in the past. Now we have this Three of Cups on that thing that's in the middle of everything. Would you believe me if I told you, Scorpio, that this situation, because you're repeating it, is depleting your energy? It could be depleting even the sense of possibility of being able to celebrate something special with something else, someplace else, someone else. It definitely makes you feel like there's limits. There are limits with this other energy when it comes to an emotional investment. Now I say this is something that you're repeating before, so you could have dealt with other energies in your past who weren't emotionally invested in you. They could have been there logically, they could have been there physically, but emotionally it really wasn't there. And this could have to do with a particular energy. Could be more on the masculine side of things, and it doesn't have to be a man, it doesn't have to be a woman. It's the type of energy. The type of energy that this person was, they could have been the provider, they could have been the one who was more of the people person, I'm hearing, and stuff like that. But it was definitely the more social energy that you grew up around. Oh yeah, the High Priestess falls right onto that. High Priestess, more Cancerian moon energy. It talks about how we nurture things, but also how stuff nurtures us. But what also it talks about is being able to give birth to new ideas, new ways of going, being impregnated with ideas, being impregnated with again, new ways of going, whether it's giving birth to them or being open to taking in new things. And again, this has to do with that transcendence type of energy, that above the logical kind of energy that you feel from your soul being. And I feel like you felt a lot even as a child. But as a child, you could have been shut down, because if you look at this card, the way it falls, it looks, let's see if it does, yeah. It looks upon the halls of illusions here. See that? So definitely what this tells me with the fourth house energy was early in your foundations, these gifts were being shut down, which left you more confused with what left you adapting to, instead of that emotional power, that of reading between the lines, you started to tap into just using that mental state, overthinking things. I had a conversation before with my mentor, and I seen this the other day, so it's amazing. I'm always observing in my environments, I'm not gonna lie, but my mentor used to like to go and people watch, and one of the things that they used to like to do, because we're body workers, is they've noticed that a child will imitate whichever parent that they're closest to, their body mechanics, even the way that they walk. And actually, I seen this yesterday when I was at the store. I had a father who walked past me, hand in the pocket, and I had his son who walked past me as well, who was younger, who had both the hands in the pocket, but that one, like their dad had, they were really angling it. They're even trying to sway like their father, stuff like that. And I feel like because it was hard for whoever this energy was in the past to open up to the emotional gifts that you're having, you know, opening up emotionally to you, they shut it out, and you adapted to mimicking them. And they could have been somebody who was really, really powerful in their mentality, and you tried to connect with them through the mental state. That's what I would say. All right, what else needs to come out? Ooh, something on this investment. We're in these thoughts again. Four of Pentacles. Overspent. Confused how we're overspent. Maybe confused on how we're trying to have too much control. Too much holding on to old ways of doing things. That's what I get with that. Especially if you've had this routine for a long time. Your journey might be right now is to learn how to not evolve out of it, but to evolve with it and to take it in another direction. And what we have here is the Temperance. Rebalancing. Rebalancing. Again, between the emotions, and it could be that transcendence energy, that higher up energy, and being able to openly move towards it, not knowing that everything has to come through the thought process first, knowing that some of the stuff can come through how we feel for Scorpio, because that is your superpower right there, as a part of being the water signs. Whoo-wee, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I keep hearing the word daddy issues. I don't want to bring it up, but it's been chomping at the back of my head now since this high priestess, actually kind of a little bit after I seen the King of Cups energy. So this could be a direct issue that you've had with a parent in the past. Maybe trying to make up for it, maybe trying to realign with that energy and be there for it a little differently. That could be something as well. You could be faced with somebody who is interpreting life kind of like somebody else in your past. There's a familiarity because they both come out as a King of Cups. There's somebody here that you are directly dealing with that reminds you of somebody else, but you're not conscious to that just yet, just like you're not conscious to that you're repeating the same thing you did at a younger age. Oof, that's okay. That is okay. That's not your fault either. It's all a part of growing, and it's all a part of learning. It's all a part of recognizing. It took me some time, actually, till I got to my 30s to question why certain things, certain people were around me at certain times of my life when they should have been off doing their own thing, in a sense. I mean, It takes time. It takes time, and it takes an involvement of yourself to see things differently. And I think this is why it's important that you are evolving spiritually a little bit more into your gifts, so that you can align that unconscious and conscious connection that you have with yourself. We did it, Scorpio. We made it to the conclusion. So let's go ahead and ask divine and universal energy, what are the positive messages here that are needed? Well, don't let this fall to the wayside. It lands face up. You're confused. I mean, you even may try and put this possibility behind you, below you. You may even try and deny that it's even there, but I have the garden and the gate. I really feel like that is the divine really giving us a signal here that there is a lot of you to explore. There's a lot of you that you are still closed off to. When you start to open up into being able to give you that stable offer of going into the emotions, of going out and feeling things, you're going to see new parts of you. You're going to feel new parts of you. You're going to see how you could have been blossoming all along, but you've just held yourself back from recognizing it, type of thing. Oh, I like this. When this one lands on innocence, it lands on the Ace of Swords here, delight and courage. Adjacent possibilities. What's that saying I'm hearing? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think that's a lie. That's a lie. It comes down to practice, persistence, showing up. Some days you don't need to show up for just to get the progress. Some days you show up just to be able to show up, to stick into the routine of things, knowing that things can be different. The routine that you've had once before and the routine that seems to be mimicking it now is not your only option here. You may not know it, but there are other possibilities through different doors you can go through. It just all depends. Are you going to keep going straight through, passing up all these other ones? That depends on you. But having courage to open up to something different could definitely change some things for you. All right, something else when it comes to the communities, when it comes to your belief, something you don't see and that you're at odds ends with. It comes down to your door of value, and this lands on the moon card. I feel like it's not like a lot of your fortune in a say, it's a lot of energetic currency here. A lot of divine energetic currency, a lot of transcendence energy type of currency. But you have to align with that emotional side, the mystical side of you, that mystical love, that mystical being, and being open to allowing yourself to believe in it, that this is a bountiful energy within you that doesn't have to have these borders that limit it because others don't understand it, others don't see it, others don't feel it. That's on others. That's not on you. It is not up to you to limit yourself, Scorpio, to fit in. That's not up to you. You're here to inspire. You're here to teach. And that's how you will help save others. All right, 3 cards here. You can choose to keep going through this person's labyrinth, or you can choose to open a different door again. A door to your personal power. A door to happiness. A door to healing. A door that gives you permission to be 100% authentically, genuinely you. You're gonna have to switch things around when it comes to your belief, when it comes to that willpower. Look at how you self-sacrifice your gifts to fit in. How can we stop that routine? How can we see that what we feel, how we feel, our gifts are not here to be a punishment, but to help us? And that is a direct message. This is a direct message from your angels. Who is the archangel who always showed up to give divinely guided messages to whoever in the Bible? Who was it? Oh wait, they're associated with the throat chakra. Oh wait. Archangel Gabriel. One of the biggest messengers, main messengers, when it comes to the divine. That higher power. And this higher power, again, is wanting you to know that you still have so much to learn about yourself. And when you start to align with your soul being, when you start to align with your gifts more, you're gonna find an internal peace, opposed to the turmoil that you experience every day because you are taking everything just through the mind here. When again, a lot of your powers, a lot of your gifts come from filling out your environment. Scorpio, you are not being punished by the type of people that have been in your life since the past until now. Your house, 8th house energy is transformation through relationships. This is why you are being hit so hard this month with these energies, especially because we have that 7th house relating to others happening here. Both 8th and 7th house learn more about themselves through their interactions of others. And again, here with Libra energy, the goddess had to know when to say enough is enough. I can't help humanity anymore. They're too corrupt, they're too wicked, they're too stuck in their ways. It's it. I gotta go and I gotta take care of me. So don't think that when you step out to stop self-sacrificing for others that it's gonna be a bad thing. When you start to connect with that unconscious and you start to find out how you're really feeling about things in your life, don't hold back from yourself, because that's closing this gate off. That's closing this door off. That's closing off the alignment with the divine, with your soul being. But that's also closing off that transcendence kind of communication that comes in for you as well. Remember, your journey is one of inspiration, one of teaching. I'm hearing it's a big revelation for others, and that's just a part of your journey. But again, you have to learn through these other relationships. It's a must. It is a must for you. This is going to conclude it, or I'm going to keep rambling, Scorpio community. Thank you so much for hanging out. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out with these positive messages. And I hope that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.